Hi, I'm Amberly, and welcome to Transmuting Chaos. I have a few different purposes for telling this story. It's very personal, and it was one of the most profound spiritual experiences I've had in my life. And I want to kind of go into how we alchemize some horrific events that might just seem like the end of the world at the time that it happens. And then later on, you understand that you can overcome anything and actually make it into a foundation for your life instead of letting it be something that tears you down and crumbles you. And it also makes you much more empathetic towards others. And there are a lot of things that our taxes and money goes to that we might not think about so much and we might not be aware of. And a lot of things that we see on TV, our mind just absorbs it as entertainment. And we're not being entertained. And we're actually numbing ourselves by thinking of a lot of TV and things like this as entertainment. A lot of it is really doing a lot of harm. And anyway, in 2017, I lost my house and I was going through the tail end of the Morgellons. And we had filed for bankruptcy, and the lawyer didn't let us know about this court date coming up. Well, we never got notified, and the sheriff and whoever else, I didn't answer the door, came and told us that we had to gather up what we could and leave. So we literally had to leave everything, all of our clothes. We just took a couple boxes and we had to go live in a hotel. Well, at this time, the cars were way far back in payment as well. And mine was actually paid for, but the other one was like really far behind. And I also had a lot of tickets, outstanding tickets, and warrants out for my arrest because of the license plates being expired. So we were staying at this hotel for about a month or so, maybe 2 months. And the police ended up finding out that we were staying there and came and got us. And I had all these warrants. Well, I tried telling them when they took us that we didn't have any way out and I had this parasite thing going on and I really wasn't supposed to be anywhere like unclean or anything like that. Well, they ended up taking me to the county jail and I wasn't able to get anybody to bail me out because the bail was like $8,000. So they said that I had to spend 8 days there and that would pay for it. Well, I told them, about my rash and everything and that I shouldn't be around people and hoping to get out of it since it was for such a minor offense. And instead they put me in solitary confinement. Well, when I got there, you have to take a shower like right away. And I've been like in a holding cell before, for warrants or whatever, but got out like hours later. So I'd never been in a place like this. And I was already like so stressed out from everything going on in my life. I was having the biggest panic attack, just not knowing like if I was going to be able to get out. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have anybody's number. It was terrible. So when I got in the shower, there were like all of these cockroaches, and it was just disgusting everywhere. And that was like horrific enough for me to like be in that environment. And then they put me in solitary, and it was worse than that shower. I mean, the toilets, everything, it was absolutely disgusting. I wish I had pictures to show people what this place looked like. And it was guys and girls in the same block, and every other one was a guy and a girl, and then on and on. Well, the guy at the very end was severely mentally tortured. I mean, he should have been in a mental health institute getting some serious professional help from a doctor, or it was just, I can't even think about him because it was so horrible. And anyway, they had, I guess it was 6 people on that block. And the guy next to me was very spiritual. And the girl, like, right next to him was too. And we kind of like started talking about just all kinds of different subjects, like meditating. And I had never meditated before at that time, but I was like really thinking about this stuff at that time. I was all into like ancient aliens and ancient civilizations. I was like really getting into that for like the past 4 years, I think. And they were kind of into that stuff too. So we would talk back and forth. And the girl was Rh negative. And she was telling me about like how she would just like meet other Rh negative people and know like right away. And that she had always had people follow her and stuff. And I had watched a couple documentaries on Rh negative blood, and but I had never met anybody that actually knew about it and had experienced this, so that was kind of cool to me. But so the first night when we were all trying to sleep, they keep the lights on you, and everybody has like a camera because some of the people are on suicide watch, and you're supposed to be able to get a guard at any time because the cameras are on you. Well, the guy at the end of the block all night was screaming and like stomping around that he wanted to kill and rape me and this other girl. And I was just thinking in my head, there's like no way to stop this. This is like what hell has to be like. I was just looking around, sleeping on this, concrete slab, not able to get a hold of anybody, just lost my house, away from my kids. I could feel my kids like worried about me, like in my heart. It was just breaking me. And so I started to meditate. I closed my eyes and I just started to quiet my mind, and I was shaking so bad. I was having full on panic attack. Well, all of a sudden I saw like this purple fluid ribbon of light come through my third eye, in my mind's eye. And I felt this complete calm come over me, and it felt like this presence just put a blanket of protection over me. And that's like one of the first things that I had felt in a long time, like spiritually, because before that, for about 5 years, I'd had hardly any dreams. It was almost just like a blank in my life. I felt really numb. I had gone through this opioid addiction, and that really makes you numb and feels like your spirit is almost gone. You just feel numb to the world. And so after that, I fell asleep. And then the next day, I had to take a shower there. Well, they had these showers that shut and lock, and the guard has to come and get you. Well, they had guy guards, first of all, for the women, like handing us towels, and they would see you. So that was shocking to me that they had people doing this. And the shower was like a pressure washer, like for a car. And it would get super duper hot, and you couldn't open the door or anything. So you couldn't breathe or anything like that. And you'd be stuck in there for at least 30 minutes until they came back to get you. So people would take turns. That guy that was down at the very end, he got stuck in it for like over an hour, and nobody would come and get him. And this thing hurts, and it's like scalding hot. And then there was another girl that was on suicide watch that got stuck in there for like 2 hours, and she was losing her shit like I've never heard in my life. And I was just like bawling my eyes out. I could not believe that people were getting treated like this, like for any reason, and these are like people there for pretty minor offenses. It's a county jail. And anyway, so after about 5 days, I got put into, he does this every time I make a video. I got put into, with all, I forget what you call it, but with everybody else. And I started talking to a lot of the women in there, and most of them were in there for drugs, mostly methamphetamine. And it broke my heart to see people that are already so run down from the way that our society is structured to be stuck in a place mostly because of money and because they're not getting the help that they need to get sober. I mean, they're just in a constant loop. And a lot of them were really decent, good people that could probably have a much better life if we were like trying to take care of each other instead of letting the government run us completely into the ground and lose our humanity. Because that's what we're doing by letting them take care of us. And I do say that like in a very joking manner because they are not taking care of us. And anyway, that was the year that we had the total eclipse. And everybody there wanted to go out and see it. And they wouldn't even let, anybody go out and look at it or get any fresh air or anything. And it's just The food, everything is, I wouldn't feed anybody that food. It's hard for me to talk about because our money that we pay taxes for is going to torture people. And you might say, well, there's a lot of people that do deserve this or whatever. And if you ask me, most of the people that deserve it are out free and living life just great. And if you look into how the jail system is actually run, that the banks own these county jails, and they get paid like $350 each person that's in there a day. And if you track back drugs, you find out that the government put those on the street. They created all of this war for us to have wars on the street. We don't even need to have them like in other countries anymore because they brought them here for us to fight each other. And everything that I talk about, I hope people really understand that this is a warning, that I'm not just one of, a billion that this happens to. This is something that we need to come together and actually stop, not just, talk about putting our protective bubbles on and things. That is not going to fix this. We need to truly stop this. And I talked about on Twitter a couple weeks ago, I talked about how much this one particular experience changed my life and helped me grow spiritually, like immensely. And putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, especially if we choose it, is a really great way to expand spiritually. And I suggested, there's a way, and there are plenty of ways that you can go to jail for a couple days without endangering anybody and without doing anything illegal. And I can't tell you how, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. And see for yourself, like what your money is going towards, and do spiritual work there. Being around people that have no way out and knowing that you do gives you gratitude that you can't buy and you can't find at some yoga class or spiritual retreat. And when you alchemize these horrific situations or stressful situations, they unlock DNA codes. And a lot of the most profound spiritual experiences that I've had have actually been from extreme stress and then actually coming to a calm and a breakthrough, because these frequencies do different, they trigger our DNA in different ways. You can't force it. I think a lot of them happen naturally, but when you learn to calm yourself and zoom out and see the big picture while you're going through these, that's when you are really creating magic and changing your light body. You're building a crystal from your light body with all of these different experiences. And just like a crystal has different minerals and everything that make different colors and different layers and different strengths of the crystal body, that's what your light body is created by. And that purple ribbon, I saw that a couple times. The first couple times that I meditated, and both times that I saw that was when I was very, very, very stressed out. And I knew that it was something guiding me. And I'll get more into that later. I really wanted to just put my heart out here because these problems seem like they're so huge and that we're so little, but they're really not. We need to just work together and get rid of what's causing them. And most people are not horrible. Even like the most annoying, most horrible people that we see out on the street are not horrible. We've been run down. And it's all a system that is trying to do this to us and rip us apart. So we need to come back together and really stop looking at each other in such a negative light and trying to pick apart every little flaw and detail that we see in each other. And start really looking deep and seeing the beauty that we all are. The beauty in being flawed and the beauty in being human, and get that back. Because it's been, I don't know how long since we've been united. And this is what needs to happen. And I truly love you, and thank you very much for your time and for listening. Thank you.